This is the final video in our basic CVP analysis. Here we're going to be using an Excel feature called Goal Seeker. It will help us determine the number of units our salesman has to sell in order to break even. So I've set up my Excel spreadsheet. Take a second, pause the video, and set it up in a similar manner. And we will begin. So we have our given information. He plans on selling the units for $350 each. His variable costs are $210. That'll give him a contribution margin of $140 per unit and fixed cost of $5,600. The first thing we have to do is set up a formula to determine the profit. And to do that, I need to set the volume at something. So let me set the volume at 1. So if he only sells 1 unit, what will be the outcome? Well, to do that, we can use a formula that says take the contribution margin, sales minus variable cost, multiply it by the volume, in this case, the plug figure of 1, and then subtract out our fixed cost. So that is our profit equation. Well, we can keep trying to guess until we get to a number where the profit is going to equal 0, or we can use the Goal Seeker. Of course, we could use our other techniques, but let's go up to the Data tab. I opened this up so we can see it, and we're going to go to the What If analysis, and we're looking for Goal Seeker that will give us the right input when you know the results that you want. So that sounds like what we want to do. So let's get the Goal Seeker. We want to set the cell B8, which is profit, to the break-even point, and that by definition is 0. And we're going to do that not by changing any of our given information, but by changing our volume. And when we hit OK, Excel calculates what it takes for the volume, what volume to get our profit to equal 0. And of course, that is the same amount, 40 units, that we calculated using the unit approach. So Goal Seeker is a nice little tool that we can use if you wanted to know the break-even in money. Again, we simply take the sales price, multiply it by our volume, and again we get that same answer of 14,000. Now we can also use Goal Seeker to determine our desired profit. So let's go back to our what if scenario. Seek out Goal Seeker, and now instead of setting profit to 0, we want to set it at the desired profit of 4,900. And again, we're going to do that by changing the volume. Now when we hit, Excel tells us that we need to sell 75 units with a budgeted sales amount of $26,250, which is the same amount that we used before. We're not limited to using Goal Seeker for just break even or targeted profit. We could also use it for targeted costing. So let's go back to the scenario where our salesman has determined that the market will only bear a selling price of $310. His cost per unit can be reduced from $210 to $190. That's going to reduce down the contribution margin. Under this scenario right now, we're not meeting our targeted profit. So the only way to get there is to change the fixed cost. We're going to maintain the same budgeted volume. So let's use Goal Seeker to determine what level of fixed cost do we need. So we're going to set the profit B8 to a value of 4,900, not by changing the volume, but by changing the fixed cost. And we get the same answer that we did before. At our budgeted volume of 75 units, we need to establish our fixed cost at 4,100 to earn a profit of 4,900. So again, Goal Seeker can really come in handy when we're doing CVP analysis.